It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
Welcome into the Daily Score. And you know what? We just can't, Shane. We cannot stop talking about the final 7 games of the year. What are you doing? Would you like to be on
live right now?
This is happening right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Reardon. Why are you laughing? I don't want to go in a studio. I'm on a tight schedule here. That was Shane Reardon from The Score. I'm on the hallway for everybody to see. I am what you call a display case podcast. That's what's going on here. Final 7 games of the year. Yesterday, for the Bears, Matt Eberflus was saying, yeah, I want consistency from Justin Fields over these final 7 games of the year. I mean, okay, yes, of course, everybody wants consistency. So we took that to Luke Getsy, the Bears offensive coordinator, and said, what do you think Matt Eberflus means by consistency? What all does that entail for Justin Fields in these final 7 games of the year?
I mean, it always starts with taking care of the football, right? I think that's the starting point for anybody on offense, but specifically the quarterback. And then it's just like what I was mentioning before. It's about getting better and progressing each and every week, right? And so I think there was really cool parts of this season that we saw that from him, right? And then unfortunately the injury comes. So let's get back on track with that and let's continue to grow together.
Does movement in the pocket fall into that category for you?
I mean, for sure. I think that's because that's part of taking care of the football, right? I think that's, sometimes there's bad looks or bad play calls or bad whatever, and you have to make the best out of it, not make a bad play worse, right? And so that's part of that. And then pocket movement, sometimes somebody makes a mistake and we'll avoid it, and you can minimize that mistake as much as you can. That's part of playing that position for sure. And so all that stuff together is part of him growing together.
Justin Fields had a very measured approach to the final 7 games of the season, kind of saying some of the things that you're saying in terms of his goals for the rest of the year. But I think it's fair to say that, Ryan Poles and people are still trying to evaluate him. Is he the future of the Chicago Bears? So do you feel pressure in these final 7 games to make it obvious that Justin Fields is the franchise quarterback going forward?
No, I would. I mean, maybe it's fair for them to have to think that way and do that thing, but I think it's from our perspective, it's about us getting better as a unit each and every day, and I think Justin's a big part of us getting better each and every day, and so if he grows and gets better, then we're going to grow and get better.
That's true. Everybody's on watch over these final 7 games, including the guy that was speaking right there. So I do think that there is a certain amount of pressure on him, and these guys are doing a good job of alleviating the pressure with some of the answers that they're giving. But I think we all know that, it's the NFL. A lot depends on what your quarterback does, and if your quarterback is going to show you in these 7 games that he is it for the future. I have my doubts. Luke Getsy also talking about the offensive line. And the fact that Tevin Jenkins goes back to left guard, Nate Davis is in at right guard, obviously Lucas Patrick at center, Braxton Jones good to go, healthy still at left tackle, and your rookie prize guy, Darnell Wright, over at right tackle. So is this the ideal offensive line?
I guess the healthiest is probably the case, right? We're finally getting some guys back. So, we're excited to kind of finally get some extra pieces back and have some depth there and everything like that. So we're excited to see, specifically Nate to get him back out there is going to be great.
Tevin hasn't played a whole lot of left guard. I know that was the plan in the offseason. That's where he spent spring, summer. Is that a tough ask, or should it be pretty easy for him to just slide back over?
Well, it's never easy anytime anybody has to move any position. But to speak to Tevin, I mean, the ability to come in and be a tackle and then be a guard on both sides. I mean, he's played tackle on both sides. He's played guard on both sides. I just think that speaks to the type of player that he is and the capability that he has.
Yeah, I mean, Tevin has been really good at all the changes that they've asked him to make, from being a tackle to being a left guard to being a right guard. And Nate Davis has never played it at the NFL level. So, this is one of those things where you trust it. Was just talking to Anthony Herron and Danny Parkins, and Herron made a great point that, and it's true, Nate Davis was playing pretty well at right guard as well. And I'm not sure if he looked as dominant as Tevin Jenkins is, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that Nate Davis and Darnell Wright could team up and be pretty good. You know where my vote was, though, to keep a good thing going. but there is some sense in keeping Nate Davis where they brought him in to be. Montez Sweat was talking in the locker room, and we talk a lot about the, or at least the coaches do, the Tez effect and how he affects more than just knocking the quarterback down. Here is Montez Sweat.
The name of the game is to get quarterback sacks, but how do you like being a facilitator and affecting what other guys do?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys, they really focus on sacks a lot. And, I mean, it's a great tool to be judged by, but, I mean, it's a lot of other ways to affect the game rather than just getting a sack, whether it's a hit, a pressure, or it's even being stopped in the run game. Any of those things could help you out a lot.
Are you glad that that kind of stuff gets noticed in this day and age where we notice everything? Everything is tracked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the naysayers or anything like that. I'm worried about how my coaches feel about me and how my teammates feel about me and completing the game plan.
Did you have any apprehension coming in? Like, you've never changed teams mid-season. So were you unsure at all coming in about how quickly you'd be able to make an impact or anything like that?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, not necessarily. Football is football at the end of the day. But, I mean, just finding out how it belonged in the defense and stuff like that was definitely a question of mine. But I think I fit in pretty well.
How do you feel like your rush chemistry is coming along with Yannick and DeMarcus and everyone?
It's coming along. It's definitely a day-by-day thing. But, I mean, I'm getting to know them a lot better, and they're getting to know me. So it's starting to break fruition.
Is it to have two really productive defensive ends, to have you and someone else? Like, what does that change if another guy can really get going?
Yeah, really. I mean, it takes a lot of pressure off of me and off the other edge, or maybe because I mean, usually offenses don't want to chip both ends. They want to get a guy out to get on a route, or get the offense going and stuff like that. So it definitely takes a lot of pressure off of the people on the line.
Yeah, I mean, the Tez effect is it's a real thing too. I mean, and he is a specimen out there. Bears did have 3 sacks last week. I think those were more coverage sacks, but you can't deny what Montez Sweat is doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from him now that he's had more time to practice and to understand exactly what he is doing in this Bears defense. Couple more for you. DJ Moore was talking. It turned into an interesting conversation about trash talking, but DJ Moore, in spirit, was talking about the Lions defense.
To them to fly around, have a lot of energy, probably talk some mess, and we just got to ignore it and be on top of what we do.
Are they known talkers or something?
I don't know. You know how they out there, they look like they talking, so you got to be prepared. They fans are going to be a little rowdy talking, so you got to battle them too. But
so just from watching their games, you've kind of picked that up, that they're pretty boisterous?
Yeah, they do. I mean, with any defense, they do all the extra, the no-fly zone stuff, so you just got to be ready for it.
Do you like to talk back?
I don't talk back.
Why not? Facing a team that's...
Why? Yeah, I just smile and just walk away. Yeah, that's worse than talking back.
When you're facing a team that's leading your division, what sort of test is it for you guys to see how you measure?
The division games is important games. Taking out the people at the top is probably going to be a great feeling. Where it's going to show us that we improved that and what we need to improve on coming out of this. So after a win, we're going to look at what we improved on and what we could get better at.
Do you think you guys are ready for a breakthrough here?
Yeah, we're always ready for a breakthrough. This is the NFL. One game could turn the whole season around. So after the Thursday night game, we want to keep stacking wins. So this next game, the Lions is our next opponent, and we just go out there and get a win.
That's the hope. That was interesting to hear DJ Moore's philosophy on trash talking, just smile and walk away. I believe it, man. He's the calmest guy, one of the calmest guys that I've ever covered. I've covered some calm guys, but considering the talent and his importance to the team, he's an interesting guy, man. He just seems like he's got everything together. Last cut. This is somebody has to talk about their old buddy, David Montgomery, who's having a good year for the Detroit Lions, spent the first 4 years of his career with the Bears, and Darnell Mooney got close with David Montgomery was here, so Moons was talking about David Montgomery.
I have not talked to him this week, but obviously he's playing very well. He's playing very good. I'm happy about him. Happy for him. And obviously he's seeing a little red this week, for sure, playing us. But I mean, I'm rooting to see him play well, but not that well, you know. I want to go out there and win, obviously. So we'll talk a little after the game, but I'm just glad I'm not tackling him. How about that?
That's fair. I mean, the one thing we know about David Montgomery is that dude is tough to take down. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like on the other side. I think that TJ Edwards has been playing very well. Jack Sanborn has actually been making more plays than anybody, I think, in that linebacker crew right now. And they are going to be most likely without Tremaine Edmonds. Again, he did not practice. So we'll see. Final injury report comes out on Friday. Maybe something changes, but I think that that's the way it's going to be. And that is going to be all for today's episode of the Daily Score. Thank you for listening and watching. For our executive producer, Ray Diaz, I am Mark Grote.